Louisiana Gardening Family, and that title doesn't just say gardening. It has that word family in it, and also I guess of course along with family comes home or house. So the channel isn't just all about gardening, but for the most part it is about people gardening in Louisiana. But then we go to something like this, to where the yard is just totally soaked. We actually had a kitchen stopped up. As you can see, that pipe is coming out of there, and I've actually fixed that, but I haven't bought the pipe to repair it. So it looks like along with repairing that, after we got that unclogged out of the ground, I started noticing the water coming up again. If you follow our channel, if you ever seen any of our house playlists, you will remember that we actually had to repair a line somewhere up in here. This line here that feeds to the house actually bust. Now the water started coming up again, and I'm like, man, I know that part that I repaired was good because I've done that before, so why is it leaking? And I actually started seeing looks like the water was more pooling going toward this way, which shows me because of the slope of the house that it may not have been this. So I started digging here, and I already had dug down some right here before, so I started digging here. And let me show you, I'm gonna clean this water out with this little I guess bucket that Fiona gets her eggs with, and then I'll show you the hole that I found. Okay, so let me get in. So the hole is actually right here, and these things can actually put out a pretty good amount of water. I'm glad that it's not this line that's actually leaking, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a loose this whole part here, and it looks like just a nipple, maybe like a 3-inch nipple that I may be able to change. So hopefully this can unscrew out of here, that it's not too rusted, that it will unscrew and allow me to unscrew it, and that way I can just replace this line and that line. And let me show you what kind of water this thing can put out. Even though it's underground, it's still putting out a heck of a lot of water, and that's what causes your whole yard to look like a flood has happened. So let me go let Bev hold the camera, and then I'll go turn the water back on just for a few seconds to let you see the amount of water that comes out of that little tiny hole. 1 second. What we got here, try to use this to balance on. I'm gonna try to, I've already got in, I used a file and I just went around here. Sometimes you get the crust and the sediment from around it. So it's really kind of wet, so it should come off easy, but it maybe not. And I might have to try to go find some like WD-40 or some kind of penetrating oil, but we'll give it a try. I might have to take this off first, so that way that pipe can turn, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do, which is going to make that a little bit more difficult. But let me see if I can get this to turn. Oh yeah. So that's a good sign. So I need to go ahead on and take, but this is a copper pipe. I probably have to end up cutting this off because this is a copper pipe. No, but it looks like we got a copper fitting down here. Let's see. Gonna be easy, trailer.
Because it's muddy?
Because of the angle we at. Let's see if I can. May end up having to dig around here so I can give myself. Oh, there we go. There we go. Saw that? All right. Little work. So it's not just about gardening. It's also about when you get in older homes and things like that, you generally will have some work that needs to be done. You got older pipes and you can see right here. So we don't want that to break because I want to put that back on. Now let's finish getting this out now. Alright. I want to get this water out of here because I don't want that line to get mud in that line. Beverly! See that water pouring out of there?
Yeah.
You want to keep that lower. That I'm gonna have to get that little small screw that I got up in that thing where we pour that hot water out of. You know, up in that line under the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to pour that up in there. Alright, so that's how it looks now, and we're gonna get this plugged until we can get it fixed, and I'm gonna go get some replacement parts and we'll just put all that exactly together just how it was. Alright, so if you remember, this is what we had coming out of this pipe, and all I did, I kind of never want to reinvent the wheel ever, so what I always do is I try to go and find exactly the same thing, right? So we got this little nipple, got one like this. I think this was like $1.99, and it's a half inch by 4 inch nipple, 4 inches long, and that's gonna bring this to right here, which is goes back into the main pipe, and then we'll put the nipple on, and then I'll put on another pipe, which is the same thing. Taking away this copper, and I just put a galvanized pipe about the same length. So it'll go like this. I'll show you how it'll look. Like that, like that, like that. And then I'll change out the top and put a screw on right on the top. So everything should go exactly the same. So all I'll do now, I got some plumber's tape somewhere around here. Use that. So we'll start taking these off. You always want your caps on so it doesn't mess up your little male ends, your little rivets. This doesn't matter. We can kind of put this on to see which way it's going to turn when we finish, which is how it's going to screw on. So you want to start at the bottom and then work your way out. What I want to do is make sure I have some pipe thread on here. It didn't have any, don't look like it had any on there, but I think it's best to have it on there. You want to see which way you're going to turn your pipe in, and that's the way you want your thread. You don't really need this much, but I always put more than what I need. All right, same thing here. This is gonna go in like this. So I'll take it out. And I'll put my pipe thread on. It could have been worse. If it would have been this line, that would have been so much work. But it wasn't, so we're thankful for that. Basically, you get that nice and tight. That's good and tight. I don't think that's gonna leak at all. No, it's about over halfway in. I can see it from the inside. So I'll take this off. And it's gonna leak some water because the water is still in the system. Oh, I still have the water on. All right, press stop and we'll press pause and we'll go and turn that water off and then we'll come back. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, you can get this is called a monkey wrench, and just use this just to hold the pipe, and you can get just a pair of pliers. Just to kind of, I guess I would say just to make sure it's a little tighter. That's on nice and tight. And just to make sure it's a little tighter, like that. But that's good. So now let me take this off. It's still gonna have water in it this time. Don't get too close because I don't want the camera to get wet. So back up a little bit. And this is just gonna be the residual water. So we'll have to dump that out again. You can get closer to it now. You see how the water, you really don't want that water, that dirt, which is why you want to kind of dig it out fast. You don't want that dirty water to start getting in your pipe. So you want to make sure that that water is lower than the water that's leaking out. Until it all leaks out, you need to be dipping quickly. You don't want that dirty water in your system, especially if it's going through your hot water heater, just through your pipes in general. If you have a actual different shutoff that's past here, go ahead and cut it off, because all of your water from your whole house is going to leak out of this one line. But if you can shut your water off to your house, all of that water won't leak back out to the lowest point of resistance. Get this thing screwed in here. Look at that. It's going in nice and easy. Nice and easy. Maybe one more turn. Hopefully I can get it around one more turn. That way it can be straight up and down. So I'll use the pliers. One more good turn. We want it straight up. Oh shucks. Let me see how much turn it got on. Think it could go in some more? One more turn. I got faith. I hope. Come down a little bit, get off of that part. Come on. Sometimes when you start it a certain way, another half a turn. I'll go to the monkey wrench. And bam. So we know that's gonna be good and tight. Last thing, let me go clean my hands off, and then I'll come back and we'll put some more tape on this edge, and all we'll do is put it in here and we'll screw it down. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna be screwing this in that way, right? Right it tight and left it loosey. So, let me see. We're gonna be screwing it this way, so we're gonna put it on this way. You can see that. And we're trying to fight because we have this storm that's supposed to be coming in. I think they've issued like a little small state of emergency for a flood warning. And we did get flooded out. Well, this house did get flooded out in the 2016 storm. I wish I should take that off. Push that over a little bit. And there you go. And all we're doing is just letting it do its own thing, letting it follow its own path. We're not forcing it. Alright. Look how sturdy that looks though. Now it's gotten to the point where I can't turn it with my hand. So I'll come in with the pipe wrench. Monkey wrench. And I don't know which way we want this thing to turn. But our last one was turned around this way, so like this. And we're gonna be putting in more stuff in the back. So I think that's why I want to face it that way. I really wish they had something where we can have like a dial on this side and have one on this side and one output that way, which I'm sure they do have. We just have to find one at the hardware store. Okay, so now let me take this off. A little bit more pipe tape. I'm not even sure if I'm going the right way on this one at the top, but if it's not, the good thing about it is you can always start over. The hardest part is done. And trust me, the hardest part is gonna be finding the leak. This part, once you get to it and dig around it, that's the easy part. I think this was the wrong way. The hardest part is gonna be digging it out, tracing it out. Once you get to this part here, you're basically home free. I can turn it a little bit more. Tighten it with the pipe wrench as tight as I can get it with my hand. Put it on there. Let's see if I can open that up a little bit. Get that on. And we're done. Now we'll go and we'll turn it on and we'll check for leaks. So if we had some leaking, then we'll see it. It would be leaking down dripping down onto that water. So I don't see anything leaking anywhere. And let's see if it works. That's what we're looking for. Voila. All right. If you want, I would say go ahead right now, fill that dirt in. You can watch it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but I usually, like last time I did here, I waited a day and I say I'm gonna just try to see if it works, see if it doesn't leak. Then a day turned into a week, then 2 weeks, and I really should have been covered that in. And I didn't cover it back in until this one started leaking. So go ahead and get your stuff covered. If it's not leaking now, it's not gonna leak anyway. It shouldn't, at least. You should see something bubbling up. If you use your pipe tape, it's called like pipe thread, use that. Galvanized is for water pipes, and the black steel pipe, they say is better for like gas and things like that. But for your water, you want to use galvanized. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for sharing with us. I think we got water back on now, so that's good. And we'll get back to some plants next episode. So see ya.